yeah, every other organization, country, and so forth is having different policies and regulations drafted. So I think this is key for being able to be competitive in the marketplace, while increasing the rate of data ingestion and the rate of data creation, which every organization is increasing that.
That's exactly right. And you're right. Previous organization, I think we operated in something like 62 jurisdictions and had multiple legal entities in those jurisdictions. So as those smaller countries start to align with GDPR, CCPA type regulations, it's so hard to keep up to date with all of those. But being able to do that and understand the impact, almost immediately, is very powerful. And there's no excuse for not knowing what the regulation requires you to do. So, therefore you have to quickly understand and interpret and implement the necessary changes.
Yeah. And one of the things that you've been using and talking about a lot is technology, but part of that technology is, still needing very intelligent individuals to help you design and build your team's vision, right? So do you think there is a crisis in data around talent, and what are you guys doing to overcome some of those challenges?
Well, to be honest, working in data is a much more high profile career than it used to be. So we are seeing, a lot more people choosing data as their career these days. It's not just seen as a role in IT or a role in the back office anymore. It's actually quite an exciting place to be. And now that we have these, technologies and capabilities to help us to access the data, to interpret the data, to visualize it, and make it available, and use it. It's a really interesting place to be. We certainly work with a couple of universities where we, are constantly amazed by the caliber of the talent coming through and working with us. We work with Imperial London mostly, but we do work with universities throughout the world to bring in interns, give them real exposure to real businesses and business outcomes, and to, also leverage some of their knowledge. And, more often than not, I have to say, we do bring them on board as well. And we work really collaboratively and closely with our customers, pre and post implementation, to ensure that we're giving them we're optimizing the use of the capability in their organization. They will often buy us to solve a single problem and then realize that, they can solve multiple problems with this capability. Being able to demonstrate data lineage throughout your organization and building that initial model where you've ingested all of your applications, all of your data categories, you can use that to solve, BCBS 239. You can use it to solve CCAR, but you can also use it to solve data sharing, data retention, completely different problems using the same solution, and building on and reusing the capability. So yes, it's all about the reuse and the potential.
Yeah, well, it's great. You're finding some great talent in the universities. We are doing the same thing as well. And one of the things I think is also important is we're getting to mold them, right? So they're not unlearning 20 years of a certain data modeling technique or whatever that practice is. That they're learning the new data lineage techniques, that they're learning the new ELT and the new other data, analytical techniques as well. So
absolutely. And, that we often hear the term, the democratization of data. And the more data you can make available, within legal limits to people, the more they will innovate using the data, the better the insights. And, having a diverse population of people using the capability to access the data and build those insights, you can come up with some incredible solutions. And as I say, I look on our customers as part of the Solidatus community. And I'm amazed by some of the innovations they come up with. And I often think, oh, I wish I thought of that in my previous role. But it's fantastic to see, and it's fantastic to work in that really collaborative way. And our capability is quite easy to use. It's we like to think it's as easy to use as Excel. And we need to make these tools and capabilities easy to use, so that users can, innovate themselves. We don't have to be there with them every step of the way to develop solutions. They know the problems they have themselves. They will understand how to use the capability to develop those solutions. So, a bit like your analogy again earlier about, buying hardware. If you make it easy to use, people will use it. If it's difficult to use, it will go the way of all of those other legacy technologies that we all had to spend a lot of consultancy dollars helping us to implement and then helping us to manage go forward. We don't want that. We want to make sure that our users use our capability and can use it, and it's simple to use across non-technical communities as well.
Yeah, I actually think we're at a pretty important milestone in I call it data, because for the last probably 20 or 30 years or so, IT has always been responsible for serving up data on the platter. And with some of these technologies, like what you guys are developing and other ones, I think we're at the cusp of empowering the user, because we're putting it in their terms, making it easy and accessible so that they could truly now become that next data expert. They already know the business, and now they just need to have access to the data. And that's going to be very key to being exponentially more agile and powerful as far as analytics.
Absolutely. And I think you're right. We are at a crossroads. It's a bit like, 50 years ago, we had typing pools. Now everybody types themselves. And we have to make data as accessible as that. We have to give people the tools that they can use themselves.